Hi, good morning, and welcome to Mommy Mondays. So this week we are talking about um, co-sleeping, circumcision, and if there's jealousy with my husband and my baby because of all the time spent. Sorry that I look so tired. This is actual bags at the side of my eyes. I'm a mom, and this is actually being filmed on Monday morning. I typically don't do that because I'm typically worn out by Monday morning. So I typically film ahead. But I had filmed so many closet conversations ahead that I thought I had another Mommy Mondays, and I didn't. So I'm doing it now. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Gianna. I put out videos on Mondays and Fridays. On Mondays, it's Mommy Mondays. On Fridays, it's Closet Conversations. In Closet Conversations, we talk about art, luxury, closet renovation, closet organization, fashion, and we just typically go wherever the conversation leads us. On Mommy Mondays, we talk about mommy issues, madness, mayhem, magic, all the best things. My experience, really, because I don't have much advice to give because I've only been a mom for 5 minutes, and I think we all have our different styles and that sort of a thing. So I just say what my experience is, and you can take from it what you can. In both videos, I appreciate if you comment down below so that we can get the conversation going, because I don't believe in having a monologue. I think this is a dialogue or a community log. So if you like that kind of content, please go ahead and subscribe. Subscriptions matter, and they're free. All you have to do is click the subscribe button down below. Now, if you think someone else would benefit from this content, please go ahead and share it and have them join the conversation as well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Any of the videos that you watch, if you like them, please give them a thumbs up. It makes more people see them. And yeah, join my fam. So thanks for joining me today. So these are, it's completely led by Manju, just again. So Manju might as well be credited as the Mommy Mondays show producer. She had the questions, right? She wanted to know how I felt about circumcision. If Johnny was jealous of the new baby, because Johnny and I, my Johnny, we were notorious for being a very close couple, for being up and about and everything. People knew us together and that sort of a thing. So it's a very good question, because I'm sure people would want to know that. And the co-sleeping thing. And the co-sleeping thing is pretty interesting, because I really did want to cover that in one of these episodes. Like, I have it on my list. So we can get into that. Hopefully I don't go too long with this video. Now, if you noticed in my past videos, I had on a full face of makeup. That's because I was filming a special for something. I do filming from time to time. I don't know how many of you know that, but if you don't know that, that's what I do. I am officially talent. I can host. I can talk. So from time to time I get booked for these things, and I was booked, I think that time, for 2 days in a row. And so I had a full face of makeup both days. So instead of wasting the full face of makeup on just me or on just the project, when I got home, I'd film the videos so that we had them. So now that has run out, but I'm booked again for this week, I think Thursday. So after I do that, if I'm not too tired, then I'll come home and film some more videos so that you can get me in makeup again, because I really noticed that some people are greatly offended that I don't wear makeup. Which is crazy to me, because if you see me in my normal life, I never have makeup on. It's just when I'm doing, like, just when I'm talent, because that's when there's a makeup artist. So in full transparency, today I did put on a little powder, because I have this thing where I pick my pimples. So I don't get pimples. I'm not really acne prone. But when my period is on or coming, I'll get like the hormonal one somewhere around the jawline. Sometimes one odd one somewhere on the cheek, just to make you know, hey, I'm here. And I've been picking since I was a teenager, but I've noticed as I've aged, like they don't go away anymore. So it used to be you could just pick it and it would go, like, you know, it would dry down and then go away. And so it's a few days. Now I pick it and it's like a month later, you can still see the scar. A month, 2 months later, 3 months later. There was one up here in one of the videos. And see, you can still see it kind of. And you could see in every video that it was still there, going down slowly. It took forever. And I'm just like, what is this? And, you know, people used to warn me about that, like in high school. I remember people always saying, no, don't pick it. It'll leave a dark spot. And for me, I was like, no, it won't. Like, it'll be fine. But now it's starting to leave the dark spots. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to be full of them. So I put a little powder to cover so that it wouldn't be so harsh. And I literally only used chapstick because I'm not really into the makeup. Now, my hair is a little messy, but I actually like the messy look. I understand that people don't, especially in Jamaica. They want you to be like refined and polished all the time. But I have curly hair. Like, I like the flyaways. I like it not looking like I tried too hard, because I'm not trying too hard. So if you're offended, I'm not going to apologize because I'll do it again. And I don't believe in apologizing for behavior that will continue. So, there you have it. Now, so let's get to circumcision. So, with me, okay, so how I feel about circumcision is that it should be done. Maternally, on my maternal side, I would be ethnically Jew, I guess. My grandmother's mother was a Myers, and then my grandmother, she wasn't raised Jewish, but she acknowledged that she was ethnically Jew, right? Because her mom was Myers. My mother didn't have a lot of involvement in my life. Nor did she, I guess, I don't think she even like embraced any part of the whole Jew anything. But I learned about it through my grandmother. And then my stepfather actually converted to Judaism. So he was Jewish. So I knew about the heritage and I knew about the religion. Now, in both the heritage and the religion, circumcision is accepted. Actually encouraged. Maybe even enforced. I'm not really sure. But, so I always had in my mind that my son would be circumcised. Like, there was no question. There was no, oh, how do you feel about it type deal. Like, I just knew it was something that should be done. But then in reading more about it, you know, there's two schools of thought, right? So there's the school of thought that that it's cruel and it's horrendous, and the damage it does to their brain right then lasts for God knows how long, and it's just so, it's trauma, right? And then there's another school of thought where, well, it's more hygienic. It protects them from STDs. If they have to live their life with it, it's better to do it when they're young, because some men end up with infections and problems giving their partners infections and stuff, because sometimes it's just hard to clean and all sorts of things, right? So I've read everything. So it didn't come from a solely heritage or solely religious perspective at all. It came from me looking it up and everything and saying, you know what? I want the easiest thing for my son anyway. And yeah, so as soon as I got to the hospital, I asked who can do the circumcision and how soon after he was born it could be done. They don't do it for 24 hours. So he has to be born 24 hours and then they'll do it. So he was born like at 12:53 the Saturday night and the Saturday morning, right? And he didn't have it done until like Monday 2 p.m. So Sunday morning 12:53 and then Monday 2 p.m. And the reason for that was because apparently there was a doctor at my hospital that was really, really skilled at doing it, a Jew. And they said that if the person who I spoke to said that if they had a son that was going to be circumcised, that's the doctor they would have wanted. So I waited for that doctor to come on shift, to not have any other doctor do it, basically. And it was done, and he came back to me screaming like hell. And we had to take care of it for about 7 days. And how you take care of it is you just put the petroleum jelly on it so that it doesn't stick to the diaper, and it kind of just healed itself. It was as simple as that. Like, you clean, wipe every time you change the diaper, glop the petroleum jelly or the Vaseline or whatever it was, and you put on the diaper. It doesn't stick to the diaper, and then it heals. It kind of healed itself, like I said. He stopped screaming about it probably 2 days in. And then, I mean, it was red though, like a freaking, like a red light bulb. But after that, no issues. Now, no issues. Never been an issue. And it is, I mean, I hope he doesn't remember it, or hope he doesn't have the trauma that they claim that they have, but it's over and done with. Now, in terms of, well, tell me what you guys think about this circumcision, like down below. Tell me. I would love to know. Now, in terms of if Johnny was jealous, I'm covering that one before the co-sleeping, because co-sleeping was actually a planned episode. So, if Johnny was jealous of my time spent with Lyric, so basically jealous of Lyric about me, I think is what she's asking. And the answer to that is no. I don't find Johnny to be a very jealous guy. Every now and then he'll wonder, like, about certain things. And he'll mention them because he's like a little macho, but he doesn't really get jealous, so to speak. I think he's very secure in himself. And I think he knows me and we know what we have, right? Now, when Lyric entered the chat, I spent a lot of time with him. So Johnny came to the U.S. and stayed with us for about 2 weeks. Remember, I went into labor. Okay, so maybe you don't know this. I went into labor before Johnny was supposed to come. So Johnny was supposed to come the Saturday. I went into labor like the Thursday. So he ended up coming the Friday. And then it was in the wee hours of the Saturday morning that I gave birth. So he was actually there from the birth straight. So he was there for 2 weeks. And then I didn't bring home Lyric until 7 weeks. So I was there 2 weeks with Johnny and then 5 weeks by myself with Lyric. And of course I was staying with family. So like I did have the help and all of that. But then when I got home, it was a little different because Johnny was already working and stuff, and I had to be home with the baby. So it wasn't a jealousy thing, so to speak. It was remember, I had been away for like 4 months, so it's kind of like we needed to get back in our groove of being together, but now we're together with another person, and a very demanding person. And Johnny, remember that Johnny really wants this experience. He wants to feel everything with his kids and stuff like that. So I think where I'm a little jealousy may have come in is of me, jealous of me and the fact that I got to spend the time with Lyric, because he would want to spend the time with Lyric. So it wasn't that Lyric was taking me away. It was that he wants time with Lyric. And you could see it in certain things, like, and he would say, you know, you're so lucky you get this time with him and all that. You know what I mean? So that's how I think that part manifested. I don't think he was ever worried that his place was taken by a baby or anything like that. There were times, and we'll get into it when it's co-sleeping time, there were times where he would be like, okay, well, when are we gonna, you know? But that came later. So he wasn't, no, he was really good about that part, and he was supportive, and he just really wanted more time, I guess, with both of us. But especially with Lyric, you know? Now for the co-sleeping. So if you guys don't believe in co-sleeping, spoiler alert, I co-slept. And please, I want you to weigh in down below on if you believe in co-sleeping or not, and why, and all of this. And I know the risks. I know that they say you'll roll over on your baby. I know all those things. So, but there are benefits to co-sleeping too if you've read it up, right? So, okay, so my baby, remember, he's a breastfed baby. So I used to have to wake up in the middle of the night and breastfeed. And I was pumping at the time, right? When he was really young, before the 7 weeks. So I would pump. So there would be a bottle waiting for him in the night, right? So that I could just give him the bottle instead of having to breastfeed. But not all the time, because he was greedy, remember? So not all the time there would be enough, or there was milk or whatever. Sometimes I didn't want to get up to go and warm the darn bottle. So I'd breastfeed. Now, he was in a little DockATot type deal. And that's like a lounger, like a baby lounger type deal thing. It's like this thing that, I don't know, it's just like a little mattress kind of deal with a thing around it, a border, like. So he'd be in that, like, on the bed next to me, because I didn't use a bassinet. The only time he slept in a bassinet was in the hospital. So he was in the DockATot, in the middle of the bed, and I was off to one side of the bed. So I'd take him out and feed him, unswaddle him and feed him. Now, notorious the 2 a.m. feeding, that 3 a.m. feeding, whatever it was. He would fall asleep on the breast. I would fall asleep with him on the breast. We're in the bed. So I'd wake up a few hours later and he's still there. So we slept together. So I realized early that he was a gentle and he loved to do that. And he'd just snuggle up into one of my creases. And I never moved. So I never rolled. So there was no rolling onto him or anything like that. Now, I don't know if that's normal. I've read that there's this, as long as you're alcohol free, smoke free, this free, that free, I've read that you naturally can co-sleep and you won't roll over on your baby, because apparently that's how it works. I don't know. I'm just telling you what happened with me. I never moved. Like, he was in the little curve of me and I was cradling him type deal, and we slept like that. So that went on until, so he would be in his DockATot though, until that feeding, and then he'd sleep till the end. Of course, he'd try to do it like earlier in the night after he realized that worked, because they're smart, they're smart from they come out of the womb. And so I delayed that as long as I could. He eventually grew out of the DockATot, I think when he was like 3 months old. And so he would just sleep in the bed. Now, Johnny actually liked the snuggles and the cuddles. He didn't get them as often because it was more the breast that he was after. But he liked him being there. But then, you know, at some point it's like, can I have my wife back? So, he numbered his days, but as soon as we got him out of the bed, he was like, oh, missing him and everything. But anyway, at 6 months exactly, I moved him from in the bed with us to, I have a pack and play that has a mattress. I bought a mattress for the pack and play, right? So I put that at basically the foot of my bed. So he was still in the room with us at 6 months, but he was now sleeping on his own in the playpen, right? Now, he never gave an issue to go from the bed to the playpen. Like, there was no excessive crying, there was no him trying to come out, nothing like that. And this was good for me because it facilitated those 3 a.m. feedings. I think by then they had moved to like 5 a.m. because he was starting to sleep longer, almost through the night. So, and at least he was right there, you know? So that's what was going on for 6 more months. So for 6 months he was in the bed. 6 months he went into the pack and play. And then his crib was already set up, you know. His crib was set up in his room, but I was going slowly. So when he got to 1 year old now, we put him in the crib in his room, which is down the hall. We can still hear, but he's in his room. And he also never gave a problem to transition there either. So we put him in there, and that's where he sleeps. He sleeps, he wakes up. When he wakes up, he cries to alert us. We go get him, and he comes into our room. The only time he sleeps in our bed now is if he's sick and we want to watch him, which is rare. And sometimes his dad will want the snuggles and fall asleep with him a little. And then, but he's still a breastfed baby, so he'll come over and try to suck on me like all night if we keep him in the bed. So at some point he'll come over and do that, and I'll be like, Johnny, he can't stay, and he'll have to go back into his room. So I feel like we were pretty successful with the co-sleeping thing, because we didn't have any issues, no adverse effects. I feel like he felt loved and supported and comforted. And I feel like how I know in myself that it was a success is that at every juncture, at every transition, it was seamless. He didn't give a problem. Like, you know, so he had hit whatever needs he had with the sleeping arrangement to get to the next level kind of deal. So he went from our bed to the playpen, to the pack and play, to his crib in his own room. So we don't have those issues. I didn't sleep train him. I didn't, none of these things that they say, oh, you should, I didn't do any of those things. I had a good baby. I only prayed for healthy and happy and like secure in himself and, you know, self-assured. But I got one that kind of, you know, easily adjusts and, you know, yeah, I don't know. I was really blessed and lucky, and I thank God every day for him. But yeah. So what do you guys think about co-sleeping? What happened? Did you sleep train? Like, what did you do? How did you do it? You know, I was really lucky. I mean, I really have a great little baby, and we went through the motions pretty well. So thanks for joining me for Mommy Mondays. Thanks for the questions, Manju, because you're really steering this channel. And everybody else who's tuning in, thank you. Thank you for commenting. I noticed that there's more comments this week, and you guys are really enjoying it, which I really enjoy. So keep the conversation going, and thanks so much, and have a great week, guys.